Hello, welcome to our channel. I'm Dior.
Hi, I'm Uchenna.
Tonight we're going to review Married at First Sight, season 14, episode 13, I think I said. Or was it 14?
I think it's 14.
Before we start though, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel if you're not a subscriber already, and comment below as you're watching our video. We love to hear your comments as you're watching.
Definitely.
So we're gonna get started. This is like one of my favorite events that they do, and that's the couples retreat. So tonight the couples go on their retreat, which is their final get together as the final couples in the show, and they go to Vermont this time.
Right.
Which is, I guess they're in Boston, so there's not a lot of
No, and Vermont is different, because it's all woodsy and secluded. So I think it was a good choice, actually.
Yeah. So
what did you think about the house?
It gave me camp vibes.
Yeah, I'm not into that. Oh, that log cabin? No.
Because when I go to places like that, and they have the quilts and stuff on the bedding, I'm just like, well, they actually watched this after the last person. You're not sure,
Right. Yeah.
For some reason, in a hotel where they have the nice white bedding, you just kind of trust that it was laundered before you got
right.
There.
Yeah. I would feel like I was camping, and I don't like to camp. So but they loved it, and it was big, and they seemed like they had a really good time.
Yeah, I think so too. So the couples drive to Vermont, and I think the only drive that's worth talking about is Steve and Noy's.
Yeah.
Because they talk about her kind of basically putting their relationship business on social media.
Right. And not caring about how he feels about it.
Not caring about what anybody thinks about it, because Pastor Cal also said that wasn't, a good idea. And it's just kind of this is why I don't like Noy. She's just so immature.
Immature and selfish, really selfish. And not appreciative of Steve. I was watching it with Mom, and I was like, can he please leave her? I do not want them to stay together at all. I
don't either, because she's just, even her facial expressions,
that's the worst.
She's so annoyed. And the fact that she doesn't even want to hear his, she won't even take into consideration his opinion and have a decent conversation. It's the same way. That's how I felt about her all along, about the whole him working situation.
Not only that, when he didn't say I love you back after 2 weeks, it started from there.
Yeah. So she's just,
after 2 days on their honeymoon.
Yeah. And so she just kind of shut down, but apparently they decided in the car before they got out the car that they were not going to talk about it. And they went into the house faking the funk.
they're perfect. That's what she wants. I don't think he has a problem talking about any of their issues. It's her that wants to be the perfect couple that everybody's envious of. She's perfect. He's perfect. So it's just so annoying.
Yep. So yeah, okay. So then they get there. Lindsay and Mark are already there. They pick, they got first dibs on the rooms. Jasmina and Michael went. I just really love how they're, they're getting along so well.
They're so playful with each other.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why she keeps on saying that she has no feelings for him. It drives me crazy.
It does. And it has to be so it has to feel horrible for him, because I know he knows that they're making progress. I know he's good about the progress they're making. And I know I think he has feelings for her.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And so just, if you know that person needs to have these feelings for you, for them to say yes, and they keep telling you up to a week before that they're not feeling nothing, it's what are you doing to try to feel something?
Right. Yeah.
I feel like you're not trying.
Right. What you always talk about what he has to do, but what do you have to do? People really need self-reflection. And I don't think a lot of people take time to reflect on themselves. They just watch and judge other people, never taking the time to look into themselves. And she needs to do that.
She definitely does.
You know? Yeah. But I do love them as a couple, and I hope that they stay together. You know?
Yeah. All the couples get there, and they start off by having like a little dinner together,
right?
And
where Steve is cooking, the girls are out in the hot tub, right? And the guys are in the kitchen. Cooking.
You're right. And Steve, first of all, he was like handling all those pots,
multiple pots and pans.
I was like, get it, Steve. But did you see Olajuwon's face when Steve said, I do this 5 nights a week?
I know, he was like,
it was like, not in my house.
Yeah, you a punk is what he's thinking.
But Steve does bring up the social media situation. Right. And, you know, he wants to get the guys' thoughts on like how they feel. And if this is what I appreciate about Steve, is that when he brought up the subject, he asked them if they could see her point of view.
That's why he's a great guy.
Yes, because he's like, I don't get it, but maybe you guys can help me see her point of view. Whereas Noah is like, I don't care about nobody else's point of view, only mine. And I don't want to hear nothing. Don't want to talk about it because I don't want you to try to tell me I'm wrong.
Right. Yeah. And the only person that said something was Olajuwon. And he agreed with Steve. He was like, that's not right. You know, you can't say that about your relationship.
And he said, especially if it bothers your husband, your spouse.
Right. Yeah.
Which is the important thing, is that he said that hurts me. I feel like, you know, even though you say you're not talking about me, the other people are going to see it as you, because you know when you see stuff online.
That's the whole intent about. It's a whole intent versus impact. You know, your intention might be something else, but the impact is completely different. And she knows that. You know.
What I believe though is if it wasn't about him, then you would react differently about him thinking that it's about him. You would say, oh man, maybe I shouldn't word things like that. So it's definitely about him. She's lying.
Yeah, she is lying. And she also wants to be an influencer. So she's probably I think so, yeah, because I thought that she had like a good amount of followers.
Oh, okay.
That she wants to be an influencer.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And then so the ladies, like you said, were out in the hot tub, and they were just kind of going through and, you know, talking about how things are going with each of their relationships. One thing that I noticed between the men's conversation and the women's conversation is that all the couples really saw the improvements that Jasmina and Michael's relationship had made. So they like acknowledged that, and you know, they were very excited for them, which I think is good. Like,
yeah. I mean, they generally are supporting each other, and even Lindsay's getting along with all of them in the beginning. You know? Yeah.
Lindsay is just, I mean, do you still like her? Let's start there. Do you still like her?
I don't understand her. She is like cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, because she's up, she's down. She doesn't make any sense. She's a hypocrite. You know, I don't understand how she thinks. You know, sometimes she seems fun and like you'd have a good time with her. And then other times she'd be miserable to be around with. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know about either of them, Mark and Lindsay. They're just like, I don't understand why they're still together. I have no clue what's going on.
That part I don't know, but I think Mark is just sick of her. And with good reason. Like, first of all, she's weird as hell. She's so weird. And it's weirdly embarrassing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, at that dinner when she started that like scary laugh that was so evil.
She had 2 different laughs. She had one at that first dinner and then one at the end that was like a woodpecker laugh, like Woody the Woodpecker. Remember him? Like, I was like, what? And everyone was looking at her like she was crazy.
Yeah.
And Jasmina even said that like Lindsay is really dramatic. And I mean, I don't think anyone like likes her.
I think I don't think they dislike her. I think they, kind of like tolerate her and also kind of like her, but they know that she's a lot and they can probably just take her in small doses.
Tiny doses, micro doses. Because honestly, I would feel so bad for Mark, like especially having to be around that and just
24/7.
But so like they all go in, they have the dinner together. Lindsay is acting crazy, like just laughing weirdly about nothing. We don't know what
well, she said something like, "I'm gonna kill you all," or something like that, and then she did that like super scary, that evil laugh.
Okay, I didn't hear that part.
Yeah, but she was joking, but she said something. I can't remember why she said that. But they were all going around talking about their relationships.
Was it when she said one couple won't make it?
That's
okay,
it. Yeah. Right.
But it's just like you chuckle a little, but she just takes it all the way to the extreme. She's like still laughing after a minute. And it's like, girl, it wasn't that funny. And like, do you not see everybody? I guess I'm very like keen to like social cues and stuff like that. I really like look at people's faces and stuff. So if I saw people like looking, like all of them were doing like, I would have stopped.
But the thing is, she's also drunk.
Already?
Well, they were out in the hot tub drinking alcohol, and they come into the dinner. She's drinking more alcohol. She drinks, and then she acts even crazier. And I think that's a major part of her issue. Her drinking takes her to that next level, Lindsay, where the first level was already next level. Now it's at the next level. So it's too much.
Woo. At the dinner table, Steve brings up, they're going around the table, like you said, talking about their issues. And when they get to Steve and Noi, like before he says anything, like he kind of mentions like high level, we had an issue with the social media and asks how she feels about it, which also very respectful. Like, do you feel comfortable talking about it?
Right.
But then when she said no, I think he was like pissed. Like, why don't you feel comfortable? What's the problem?
And he had a good point, because he was like, you can talk about it on social media, but you can't talk about it in front of our friends who are all sharing their issues. Like, why is that? And we know why it is. She wants to be perfect, but she doesn't know that
until she's wrong.
Right. And she doesn't know that he's already discussed it with the boys. She didn't know she'd be pissed.
Yeah, and that's how Olajuwon's face, because he knew what it was about. He was
right. So I love watching Olajuwon's face when there's awkward moments, because his face is so funny.
Yes. And I thought it was funny because also at the dinner table when we're talking about faces, because Mark's eyes towards Lindsay, and they all said like, oh, Mark doesn't have his eyes today. Like he's not looking crazy. So I thought it was funny that they recognize that he does that, because he does, like, his eyes are already blue and he just looks like a deer in headlights most times when she's going off. But so next the couples go on their little excursions. As much of an excursion you can do on a farm
in Vermont.
So Katina and
wait, should we talk about Mark and Lindsay when they wake up the next day?
Yes. Yes. She wants to wake him up with kisses and tickles. First of all, this man does not like you, okay? He does not want you to touch him at all.
Yeah.
And you know this because you get mad every time he tells you not to touch him. And he even says it like, he doesn't say don't touch me. He's just like, you don't have to touch me, which means I don't want you to touch me. Okay?
Right.
I'm not making you, and I definitely don't want you to. But I don't know what she did to him. I guess kissed him, but he said she kissed him like he was candy. Like
candy,
look at him like he was licorice.
Right.
If he liked her, maybe it wouldn't be a bad way to wake up. Like
exactly.
As long as her breath was fresh, but he don't like you. why are you being so aggressive? Like, just be a little more gentle or something. Because he doesn't like it.
I know. And she wouldn't stop, even though he asked her to stop. But then he did get mad. He just raced out of bed to get away from her and then went into the bathroom.
And she gets all frustrated. I can't, like, Lizzie, she sounds like a smoker. I feel like she sounded even more
raspy. Her voice is raspy.
Yeah. She sounds like the sisters on The Simpsons.
She does.
But yeah, okay, so
then they go outside, right? And they're sitting drinking coffee. And then he says to her something like, today I planned us to do a sound sleep.
Yeah.
And then, because he said you're very animated, and then that
hyper. He said hyper.
Hyper. That ticked her off. It is true. And that was nothing. And she's like, her mood just changed from playful to mad.
As much as she's like, he called you hyper.
As much as she talks about him. And he
dog shit, like dog shit.
In front of people. Okay.
In front of people, with the producers right. Friends, like everybody.
Right. Yeah. And then she has the audacity to be mad because he called her hyper, which she knows
in a joking way.
Right. And then she was like, but she said you keep on taking digs at me all the time. And then I just laugh it off. So I don't know if that's true. I don't know.
Those are not digs. If that's what she's calling a dig, that's not a dig.
Right.
I mean, I think he is like trying to jokingly communicate his true feelings about her. Which I guess she doesn't like. I guess she can dish it, but she can't take it. No, there's nothing untrue about what he said, and he's not saying it in a mean way, and he's not belittling you. She said that he was trying to intimidate her. He's not trying to intimidate you.
Right.
Put her down. He wasn't putting her down. He was just saying like, hey, I got something to relax us because you're always
hyper.
Hyper is not even a bad way to describe what she is, because I would describe it much worse.
Right.
Like crazy. I think we've all described it as crazy. So.
Right. But she stayed mad at him all the way through until they went. Is that correct? And then he had to apologize to her about it. And then she was okay with it.
I just
I'm
done with her. But Katina and Olajuwon, they go to a farm,
alpaca farm. Yeah, they're so cute.
That little newborn baby alpaca was so adorable.
And that alpaca just was walking and then had that baby, kept on walking, had that afterbirth, and kept on walking. I was like, oh my, I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
That was a lot of afterbirth.
Yes, it was yeah. Yeah, I thought it was funny because Olajuwon called the alpaca a gazebo. I was like,
and then he called it something else.
I was like, I don't even know what he was trying to call, like what he was thinking of. And I had to like Google it because I know whatever he was trying to say started with a G, even though he called it a gazebo. So I think he was trying to say gazelle.
A gazelle? They look nothing like a gazelle.
Nothing alike.
Oh my God.
He eventually called it a llama, which is closer to an alpaca.
I thought he said galama. I didn't realize he said llama. I thought it was galama.
He could have said it. I was like, whoa, please take it out. Take it out.
Right.
But yeah, so they really had a good time. Katina was very like, she said she was a little scared, but she, he liked animals, so she did this animal adventure with him.
Very thoughtful.
They walked the alpaca, Hershey.
Right. Ran with him, frolicked in the weeds. It was cute. It was really cute.
They had like a little snack because she said cheese and cracker. So that wasn't a lunch or a meal.
No.
They had a little snack and then had a little conversation. So one thing that Katina was saying is that she wants to have deeper conversations with Olajuwon.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is when Olajuwon decided to take it upon himself. It was just like the way he approached it. And then everything he said after it, I was just the way he said it.
The way he said it. But what he said was right. He was making sense. Like she wants to have kids in 2 years. She's just going to be finishing her degree in 2 years. That means that she's going to start working in 2 years.
So then how? She's
in her field.
What's her degree in?
I don't know, but I'm assuming that it's not what she's doing right now.
Okay. I mean, she seems to have, based on the title that they present, she seems to have a good job. Benefit calculation analyst is what it is. Right. Mm-hmm. And so
maybe she's getting her master's in something similar.
Well, he kind of made it seem like she started her life having fun and she didn't go to college and now she's going to, I don't know. Like, but just
I don't know if she went to college or not.
The way, well, I don't know how you become, I don't know what a benefit calculation analyst requires, but it sounds like it requires some college.
Yeah, I would think so too.
And I did kind of Google it because I was trying to, they hadn't showed her job title in the episode yet. And so I was trying to figure out what it was. And so I found an article where they were talking about her, and the person who wrote the article said that in Boston, a person in that position makes between $75,000 and $94,000. Okay. $94,000 is the high end of it. So I'm like, she could find something to do, even if it's not her career, she could find something to do, if they do have kids, right when she finishes school.
Right. So then why didn't she stick up for herself then and say that? Because it seemed like she was agreeing with him that it would be difficult, and that she hadn't really, she's been having a good time and not really, working on a career and paying stuff off. So I don't know why she's afraid.
See, I don't know that she agreed with him. I mean,
she didn't disagree. She didn't say, no, that's not.
Stood up for herself. Like she said that that's not true. It's not impossible. But yeah, she didn't bring up the facts about the current job she has in all these things. Maybe
and say, I'm not going to be starting from fresh. I have 5 years of, experience on this job. So this is not going to be that big of a shift.
Yeah.
So, but she I wonder why, maybe she's probably afraid to like disagree with him. I think
she's probably also like kind of stunned by just like how because he's basically saying like, oh, he's doing it again. And it's the same thing Dr. Pepper said he was doing that he said he was not doing. And that's belittling her. Even if it's not
talking down to her, right?
Yeah. Even if it's not like as harsh of a tone this time, it's just the way that he's saying and the words that he's saying is just like, she's not capable of doing these things. And I have to think of these things for you. And the thing is like, he wants to be the more dominant person in the relationship. But then he says like, oh, I'm not gonna take on the burden of, having to support, like kids while you're trying to get your, he was just basically saying like, I'm not going to help you because I've already done this stuff for myself, but this is your wife now. So it's a partnership.
Right.
And, you're supposed to help her too.
Right. Yeah. And he was being selfish. Right.
So saw a little glimpse of old Olajuwon. And then I think the next thing is Jasmina and Michael going to the medium.
Okay, she was good. That medium.
So before they went to the medium, they talked about going to see a medium.
Right.
And Jasmina did kind of like prep him to let him know, like, that it could be overwhelming and, all of this, trying to prep him beforehand. And so, yes, they go see the medium, which if I were to go see one, I would make sure I don't tell them anything. Because I feel like, you can sense if you're going in the right direction or not. Like, like he's a medium. So I was trying to look to see if he was giving off hints.
I don't think he was. Michael don't say much.
Yeah.
So I don't think he was giving off any hints. But she knew this stuff. And sometimes I always wonder, are the producers feeding them this information?
Yeah.
But then I was watching, as I was getting ready, a little bit of the after party, and Jasmina said that she was a little skeptical And then then the medium, then she became like a real believer in this medium because she started telling her stuff that she hasn't told anybody, not the producers, anything. And then when she started doing that, she's like, oh, wow, this lady's legit.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah. So the medium told Michael that he had like lots of healing that needs to be done. And then she, said that there was an event that happened between the ages of 3 or 5. That's when his brother was killed. And so she said she basically, I guess, was connected to his brother. And said that, his brother said he was doing good. It took him a long time to cross over, but he's in a good place. And then she starts talking about like them having kids. And she was saying that they would have, like, she saw twins for them.
Right.
And that's something that Jasmina wanted. She wanted to have twins. She said she saw them in a sunny place like California. She saw them with the boat.
They're like, oh, we gonna be rich.
That was really cute. Like I thought it was
so playful together.
Yeah. And the fact that they were entertaining the idea of seeing themselves together beyond this experience. So I like that. She also said that Michael was scared, like he was scared of this experience, but that he had experienced love at first sight with Jasmina.
And he was like, oh, wait a minute. That is not true.
But he did say she took his breath away.
Yeah, which was sweet.
And Jasmina was really excited about the idea of him loving her, which is like, why? You don't have any feelings for him. So why?
Right. But he still also hasn't tried to like do stuff with her. So he has to make that move. He has 2 weeks, bro. Come on.
You keep saying I don't have no feelings for you.
I know, but then he should be like rubbing her. And they are touching each other. They are, sitting close to each other. So he just has to like, I don't know, slip his hand underneath her shirt and start rubbing her back, stuff like that, I don't know. You need to call me, Michael, and I will try to
help. But she said that Jasmina asked, she said that we have 2 more weeks before we have to make a decision. And she kind of asked about that. And the medium said that they were supposed to be together. But she basically... this is what I didn't like. And this is, I mean, she's the medium, so she knows, I guess. But, I just felt like she made it seem like Michael needed Jasmina more than Jasmina needed Michael.
Right. Based on looks, I think she was doing it. I think so.
But she said that, like, you're not going to find another person like her.
It'll take 5 years.
It'll take you 5 years for you to find someone else. And then for Jasmina, it would take her 1.5 years, but she would regret, not giving it a chance. So she said they basically have mutual like feelings for one another, but they just don't know it yet.
Right.
I thought it was really like positive.
Oh yeah.
Have you done like a psychic medium situation? Would you?
I did it years ago. I had maybe 15 years ago or even longer. I had a tea leaf reading where they put tea in a cup and then they shake it around and then they pour it out on a plate. And then they read it. It was all bullshit. She knows what she was talking about. And I was just like, okay, yes. Oh, that makes so much sense. Nothing was right. So it didn't work for me, but a lot of people believe it.
Yeah, I've never done anything like that. And I think I would be one, like, I mean, I don't feel like I believe in that kind of stuff, but I also, like, if they told me something that I didn't want to hear, like if they said I was going to die next year or something like that, then I also like would be afraid of that, Yeah. And so it's just like, I just don't want to know. I don't want to know.
Go at all. I do believe, I'm a Christian, but I do believe that, there might be people who have that higher sensitivity that can like know what's going on in a person's life. I don't know about the whole like speaking to dead people, and I don't believe in that, but maybe being insightful and seeing what's going on with you and giving you guidance. I do believe that, there might be people who are able to do that, you know, as long as they're not evil, you know, so yeah.
Okay. And then next is Lindsay and Mark, and they do a sound bath.
Yeah.
Which I would love to do. Sound bath.
Oh, you have? How was it?
It was really nice. Like anything that's like relaxing like that. Like I can fall asleep very easily. So
I would be like Mark, snoring.
I would not be like, I did the sound bath. I also, last year I went to like this wellness retreat, and the owner, she did like, because they were like hyping up this yoga class, and they were like, the owner's going to do a yoga class on Sunday. Make sure you stay for the yoga.
Right.
Like, it's just yoga. Like, so she did this, like, she had this, like, it's this room that was like locked. And so they opened it up for the yoga. And, it was very chilly in there. They gave us like blankets and pillows, and it was like more of a restorative type of yoga. And she did a lot of like chanting, it was an Ayurvedic wellness retreat. So maybe it's like some kind of Indian yoga type of ritual. I don't know. But at the end, you know, when you do the Shavasana or whatever, did one of those, but and I was relaxed, and I was probably like a little asleep, but I also am like, I can hear. And so when they maybe turn off the music, or when they say you're done, I'll wake up instantly. But someone was like snoring. And I was like, oh my God. Like, I was already up, and they were just like, So yeah, I don't think I would have been like knocked out like Mark, but I would have definitely like slept and relaxed. But yeah, it seemed really nice. Lindsay was crying a little bit, so I guess, you know, she said she was thinking about her grandfather, so I guess she got something out of it. But yeah, so that was a nice thing for them to experience.
Right. Yeah.
And then all the couples come back together. And again, we see Jasmina and Michael just like fulfill their like couple roles. They come out.
I know, that was so cute. They had t-shirts.
The game masters for field day. So they played a flip cup game, kickball, dodgeball. And
then the questions about, you know, each person.
They play most likely.
Yeah.
So I think we should just do the most likely really quickly.
Let's do it. Yeah, because that was the most interesting. Even though I love the dodgeball, I would be like Michael and Jasmina. I would be so really competitive. I would be pelting people with that ball. Wait, when Katina fell, that was
Katina and Noi fell.
No, when Noi fell, I was like, good. That'll fall on her face. And then when
Katina hit her in the butt, right, Katina's?
Yeah, it was so dramatic. Like, girl, please. And Olajuwon was looking at her like, what? That was funny. And like, Steve is a little athlete. I was like, wow, okay.
I can see that. I can see
Yeah. But he's just so thin that I didn't think he'd be athletic, but he really is.
So they did the most likelies, and so we're gonna vote who we think would be most likely for the cast.
Okay.
So most likely to have cosmetic surgery.
With the three of us?
Oh, we can.
But with them.
With the cast. Okay.
Yeah. Let's be safe. Let's do the cast. We don't want this channel to end.
And IJ's not even here to like.
Right. She get all the bad ones. IJ.
Okay, so most likely to have cosmetic surgery.
I thought it was Katina. That's who I would have decided.
I was between Katina and Noi. I was between Katina and Noi.
Okay, mine would have been Katina, because I just don't find like Noi to be sexy or anything like that. So I just, wouldn't even think
that she would want to.
Right? Yeah.
Best liar. So I think initially I was thinking that they meant like kind of like most likely to lie, but then once they picked Jasmina, I was like, yes, I can see that. Like that she can get away with a lie
Right. Yeah, I can see her being a little manipulative. Yeah.
I agree with Jasmina. Spend the most money on their partner.
I would say Steve.
I think I was thinking Steve too. Yes.
Now, when Mark said himself and Lindsay clowned him like no other, she started laughing at that. And she's like, really, Mark? I know she wanted to say, you don't have any money, so how are you going to?
I knew she was going to say, I just knew she was going to.
I know, you know, she wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised she did it after the other stuff she said.
I know. And everybody was like, what's going on? And he's just like, deer is in the headlight eyes. And she's so mean. She's foul.
She just got worse.
She did.
And Olajuwon also said himself, but I'm like, you sound real cheap over here. Always talking about like, you know, that you're not willing to support your wife. So I don't think you're going to be spending the most money either.
Right.
Most likely to be a stay-at-home mom.
I didn't really pick any of them. Like I was surprised that Noi said herself, because she's always talking about working this and being poor and wanting to work.
You know what? I would have picked her because I feel like the reason why she was making a big deal about him getting a job is because she didn't want to work.
Oh, okay. Like I can see that. But she also don't want to cook and clean.
She never said she wanted a 2-income household. I think she basically wanted to have her 3 children and not have to work and have her dog all over the bed and the couch and everywhere else.
But she also doesn't want to cook or clean. So
not cook and clean. Yep.
And how is that going to work? He's going to work and cook and clean, and she takes care of the kids. And then I liked how what's her name? Lindsay was like, when she said, I just want to stay at home and take care of the kids. No, I said that. And Lindsay was like, so what, working moms don't take care of the kids? And she was like, no, that's not what I'm saying. So I was glad that
I'm glad
Lindsay said that. Yeah.
But then she also, in her little, aside in her confessional, was talking about how she had a jobless husband. Lindsay, I'm just like, Lindsay.
But that's true. That's true.
But like, did she have to say it that way? Like, I don't feel like she just treat him like she treated her husband. Like she just says, she just isn't very tactful and like anything that she says. But Steve was looking all bewildered and
he was like, not with 3 kids, you ain't working at home. I mean, you're not being a stay-at-home mom. You have to work if you want 3 kids.
You want 3 whole kids, and you're not willing to negotiate. So you better be willing to work.
And you live in Boston, so Yeah. The most you can have is 1. 2, you ass got to get to work.
Most likely to lie to their friends about their sex life. This made everyone uncomfortable.
Ooh, so uncomfortable.
Because, I mean, Mark wasn't even trying to like say her name maliciously, like like when he explained it, I was like, yep, that makes sense.
But I also think she's telling the truth about their sex life. I don't think he's a good lover. Sorry, Mark.
Well, she's already said that to her friends, so she wouldn't lie about it because she telling her, remember when she was like on the video with her friends and stuff. But I guess she told him that it was good. She just like
that was so
doing all of this, and you honestly think you have a chance to stay together? You can't care at this point.
Right. Well, once again, she was drinking. She was drinking a lot, so. Yeah.
It was bad.
So we didn't answer the question.
Most likely to lie about their sex life.
I would say Noi, because she's so annoying and she wants everything to be perfect. So she'd be like, oh my God, we have the best sex. He's the best lover. I'm so good in bed, blah, 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 just to keep that perfect front.
I'm going to say Olajuwon. I feel like something's I think we've been lied to in some way. Yeah. Like I think he lied to us about who's preventing them from having sex. If anybody's preventing them from having sex, how are we not having sex? Like somebody lying about something. So Most likely to start a fight. I mean, I think hands down, we already know.
And then she got mad.
Why, girl? As many fights as you've already started, including every single one with your husband.
Right. And this tonight you acted and you called him out. And like, come on. Like I said, she's so unaware of who she is. Completely unaware.
Completely. Yeah. And then that was it, right?
Right. And then she had that speech saying, I don't care. I'm living my best life, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, you care because you made that big old speech. So it's really bothering you. You know, Lindsay did at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Mm-hmm.
And then something happened between Lindsay and Mark. I think that we saw it was off camera.
Yeah, it's off camera.
They had gone out and they were going to start a fire. She got mad because he used her kerosene, like a little bit of her kerosene lamp.
So she must have brought one from home,
I guess. And he used it and it made her mad. And then she tried to touch him, which we know that Mark doesn't like to be touched by Lindsay.
Mm-hmm.
So he said, hey, why do you have to touch me? And she was upset. And so he walked off and that made her even more upset.
Yeah. And then
trying to leave. But as we can see, like, yes, she at this point was very drunk.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's probably why Olajuwon was trying to stop her because like she couldn't have driven anywhere.
Right.
Michael has a little conversation with
Mark
and tells him to talk to her. But I think like I know he's probably just like, I just don't want to be married.
I don't understand why they're still together. Like, what is the point? You know, I think Lindsay still kind of wants to be with him. But I think Mark is done and over with. So I think he's just counting down the seconds until it's time to make the decision.
Because it's like on decision day, I'll just say no. Like I can make it these last 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, also, I think we know he doesn't have a place to live. So
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, he is with her because he needs a place to live and he doesn't have a job either.
No job. So he may as well stay because he lost it.
He might just say yes.
I don't think he'll say yes. Lord, I don't think he'll say yes. He's gonna live with his landlord.
Yeah, slash lover
before he's staying with her. But that's another thing I wanted to bring up. Every chance she gets, Lindsay talks about like everything that's like all the misfortunes that have happened in his life.
Yeah, he got really upset with that.
And that's
the first time I saw him get really mad.
Yeah, acting like she's like some kind of savior.
Right.
And like she came to his rescue. And I mean, it's just at this point, yeah, there's no way anybody would want to stay married to her because like when you're in a marriage, there's things that stay between you and your spouse and you don't try to make them look bad in front of everyone
all the time.
Yeah. Unless you just absolutely hate them. And then you're not going on retreats with them. Like, it's just, wow, she's just horrible. But he goes to talk to her. She's in the bed, sleep or whatever. She starts crying.
Not making any sense whatsoever.
Yeah.
Until she put him down and said, your life is a mess. And that's when he got mad.
Yeah. Because she kept talking about him not honoring her. I was like, what?
I know.
And then the next morning, they wake up. She's dehydrated because she was so drunk. Like
I don't even think she's dehydrated. She's dehydrated because she's so drunk. And it's like, I think this happens sometimes when people get drunk, they get so drunk that they get sick.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's what happened to her.
Yeah, that's why they have those, they have those like IVs that you can get it after you have like they have like buses and stuff they'll do it like at the club or whatever.
Right.
So yeah, she just needed that. And she was like, she apologized to him in the morning because he was taking her to urgent care. And she was just talking about how like he was taking care of her. He didn't want to do that.
I think he was probably like, okay, this is my one chance to be able to take care of her where she's always been taking care of me. So let me just do this.
He did it, but I don't think he wanted to. He's just like, I can't. I think he's just counting down the days. He probably was like, let me just pull off this calendar day before we go to this urgent care. Because he is sick of her.
Yeah.
And I'm sick of her too. I'm ready for them to be like, let's go to decision day so I can say for them, no.
No. Right.
And yeah, so back at the cabin, they are Jasmina cooks breakfast for them. And yeah, they just talk about how good of a weekend they had. It was their last time all being together.
Right.
And then they go on their merry way.
Yeah. And then Steve and Noi try to talk about living together. And this causes another argument, because once again, we see how childish she is.
Childish and selfish.
Yeah, she doesn't want to give up that single life. It's just like, what are you doing on the show? She made it seem like she was so ready to get married and start this, new life with whoever they pick, but she isn't.
And I can understand being a little afraid of like, okay, if I let go of my apartment and then back, because you don't really know, you still don't know this person that well.
Right. Well, then just keep paying for your rent until you know.
That's what she said she wanted to do. She said she kind of wanted to keep her studio. But I feel like that argument would be a little stronger if it were anybody else except for Steve. Because like he's literally like the best guy.
I know. Almost a little bit of a pushover.
Huh?
He's almost a little bit of a pushover at this point.
He is, yeah. He is a pushover.
Yeah. Come on, Steve. Don't do that.
But he will not have any like issues of finding someone if it don't work out between them. Because everyone's seen how good of a guy he is.
Just like Gil, his DM is full. Full. Yeah.
Yeah. So next week they're gonna go to each other's like hometowns, and I think we just have 2 more weeks. I wonder if they're gonna do that. You know how like they usually do a like a commitment day, or do they not do that anymore? It would be like a couple of weeks before this decision day. They would like sit with the experts and just decide if they wanted to keep going.
Oh, I don't think they do that anymore.
Oh, okay.
It's usually before this. I think maybe halfway point. Yeah, you're right. They haven't done that in a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would be Mark's opportunity to get out.
But he would probably stay, and just finish it off.
Get there. That place.
And then we see Jasmina say once again that she's not feeling anything. And it looks like he's there and is hearing her say that. Yeah.
He's tired of hearing that.
Yeah.
Like he likes her.
Yeah.
But yeah, next week will be interesting. We're winding down, so getting really close to decision day.
Yeah.
And maybe next week we can do
a prediction.
Yeah. When we have IJ here. But thank you guys for joining us. Don't forget to leave your thoughts below. If you want to play the most likely, you can play it with us. Like you can tell us which ones.
Right, that'll be fun.
Are most likely. And we won't be offended. But yeah, thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe below. Bye.
Yep. Yeah, bye.